Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Meadowlands Racetrack here on Saturday night. It's October the 29th, 2016. It's Breeders' Crown Night. We have an excellent card of racing from Meadowlands. Going to look at all the races. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing. Get 5 or more selections from racetracks around the world. We have 13 races to look at, so let's get on to it and let's try and make this video under 20 minutes. Just maybe make it under 20 minutes just in case I have my water right here. Because I've been dealing with a little bit of a sore throat, so if I have to stop and drink something, please be considerate. So let's get on to it. Starting off at race number one from the Meadowlands. It's the Kindergarten Classic. Two-year-old Colts and Gelding. It's the fifth leg of this. Field of 11 Pacers traveling a mile, going for a purse $10,000. It's beginning of a $30,000 pick five. Maybe I'll have a pick five ticket up. I have all the numbers, of course, but I just don't know where I'm going to single, where I'm going to go deep. This race, you might want to go deep if you have to, because it's a little bit wide open race. You have 11 horses on it. Personally, I think all the races at the Meadowlands should have 12 horse fields. Because first thing, Meadowlands could accommodate that, so you have a second tier of horses. But it just makes it a better betting race. But in this race, I'm gonna go with the nine horse in the opener. Number 9, Northwest Yankee. I'm gonna go 963 here. 963. Number 9. Northwest Yankee, 5-1. Brett Miller and the sulky on this one. This horse started about 2 weeks ago at the Meadows, 15th of October in a stakes race for 40,000. Horse finished third by 3.5 lengths that day. Off the gate, this horse got fifth, sat back there almost all throughout, closed up to third, but it just wasn't his day to win. I think he should do better here with this longer stretch here at the Meadowlands. So that's the reason I'm picking him today. Start before it came on that 5/8 of the mile track on the 25th of September in Liberty Bell at Chester. Horse finished third by 4 3/4 lengths that day. Off the gate, this horse from the 5-hole got second and basically sat second and then weakened to third. Really wasn't his best of runs. And then he started here in the Kindergarten Series at the Meadowlands back in September. He won once back on the 17th of September by 3/4 in line, closing up very well with Brett Miller. He teams up with Brett Miller today. So I think this horse should have a good run here today. His career best run, and his only win came here at the Meadowlands, 153 and 1, his best time. So I'm going to use this horse as a top selection. So to recap my bets for race number 1, the Kindergarten Classic from the Meadowlands, going to go with the 9 horse Northwest Yankee. Going to go 963 here in the trifecta. To race number 2 now from the Meadowlands, which is a non-winners of 11,500 in the last 5 starts. Starters in a class of higher than a non-winners 20,000 or winners of this class in the last start. An eligible optional claim price for $30,000. There's no horses going for the claim price. We do have 8 horses traveling a mile pace, purse $13,000. We have exacta try super wagering. We have super wagering from this race on. So that's good. I like playing some 10 cent superfecta wagers. A lot of people hate 10-cent supers, but I actually like them because I'm not the world's biggest. I'll play horses now and again, but to make the day go by quicker sometimes, or at night, I'll play like at the Meadowlands for their fall thoroughbred meet. 60 cents I would bet a night, and sometimes I would hit for $40. So if you spend 60 cents and you hit for $40. It's a nice little 40 or 39, 30 in winnings, but I'm getting off subject. The second race, my top selection here, will go to the 8 horse, number 8, Inspiration View. I'm going to go 8-2-6-3, 8-2-6-3, number 8, Inspiration View, 6-1, Andrew McCarthy on this one. Last time out at the Meadowlands last week in non-winners of 15,000 last 5. From the rail, this horse finished 5th by 5 3/4 lengths that day. It was a little bit wide and really didn't have the best of closing kicks. It just wasn't his day. He's breaking from the outside today, which I think won't be a little half bad. Personally, I think his better races have come from the outside. Start before Chester on the 16th of October in the Simpson for 35,000. Horse finished 4th by 3/4 length. From the 2-hole, didn't have a lot of gate speed, so sat back, closed up for a 4th that day, an all-out finish, but he needed a little extra kick, I think. And then at Mohawk on the 24th of September in Ontario Sire Stakes Final, horse finished third by 2 1/4 lengths that day. He closed off for third. I think he should do well here today. Like I said, this race is very wide open. The first 2 races on the card are probably the most, those are the races you're probably going to see a price, because I believe the Breeders' Crown races are a little chalky. But, I'm going to take my chances with the Inspiration View. He should really do well here at the Meadowlands today. So to recap my bets for race number two from the Meadowlands onwards of 11,500 race, gonna go with the 8 horse Inspiration View. Gonna go do a superfecta here, 8263, 8263. Sorry, like I said, I have a sore throat, little allergies I'm going over. But now to the third race here. Third race is a 9 horse of 16,000. Last 5 starts is AE here of a 9 horse 76,000 2016. Another AE of 3 rolls. Field of 9 horses, 9 pacers traveling a mile, purse $17,000. My top selection in this one will go to the 5 horse. Boston Red Rocks. I would single Boston Red Rocks. I'm a really big fan of him. I'm going to go 5-4-7-8 here in the Super. 5-4-7-8. Number 5, Boston Red Rocks. 3-1, Tim Tetrick in the Sulky, regular rider on this one. Last week in the Breeders' Crown elimination for 3-year-old Colts here at the Meadowlands last Saturday night. Source finished 7 by 9 lengths that day. Didn't just do anything. It was a little bit wide and was very wide to stretch. Really, it was an all-out finish, and this horse wasn't a part of it. It just wasn't his day to win. Start before in New Jersey Futurity at Freehold on the 15th of October. This horse won by 5 1/4 lengths. He was probably the best horse on that card from Freehold that day, let alone this race. He was just the best horse and proved that he won at 5 cents to the dollar. Excuse me, 20 cents to the dollar. You got a little bit more value than 5 cents. But, he went straight to lead from the rail, did not look back. Easy victory with Timmy Tetrick going over to Freehold to ride this horse. And then Yonkers and non-winners of 8 pair mutual on the 26th of September. Horse won by 2 lengths from the 4 hole. Didn't get the lead off the gate, but got it shortly after. Took off. Very nice victory. This horse is 15-4 this year. He won two recently, but before that, you have to go back to the early summer, late spring for his wins before his last two. I think he should do well here at the Meadowlands. His best time this year came at Mohawk in 150 and 3/5 of a second, and his best time, co-best time. Uh, with that time was at the Meadowlands last season, 150 and 3. I think he should have a good start here today, dropping down a lot of class. Last week those horses were tough. Had a horrible post position. The way he was stacked out wide and stuff. From the 5-hole today, if he could go slide over to second off the gate, I think he should be clear sailing from there. So this would be a single in the pick 5 if you play it. So to recap my bets for race number 3 from the Meadowlands Racetrack, I'm gonna go with the 5 horse Boston Red Rocks. I'm gonna do a superfecta 5-4-7-8, 5-4-7-8. So now let's get on to race number 4 from the Meadowlands. It's the start of the Breeders' Crown races, and I said I would like to get this video done in under 20 minutes. I'm already at 7 minutes 49 seconds, so that's not happening. So today's fourth race, first Breeders' Crown race of the day. It's the Breeders' Crown final, 2-year-old fillies. We have a field of 10 trotters traveling a mile per $600,000. It's the beginning of a guaranteed $50,000 guaranteed pick 4 pool. Might have a ticket here, but this race is a very nice one. I found my way to the 4 horse Ariana G as a top selection. I'm gonna go 4-1-3-10, 4-1-3-10. Number 4, Ariana G. 2-1, Yannick Gingras on the sulky for Jimmy Takter. Last time out the Meadowlands, 21st of October, in British Crown elimination, 2-year-old fillies from the rail. This horse finished second by 1/4 lengths. Just off the gate, this horse got fourth, but got the lead shortly after, and then lost in the stretch by Chisetta, who's breaking from her inside today, who won. You kind of got the feeling, if you watched the replay, I had to watch it about 2 times to get because I remember watching this live, and I'm like, Yannick Gingras not touching the horse. If that was the final, he would have won. But Yannick wasn't really getting into the horse that day to really get the good kick on. He probably saved a lot for today's final. I think he should have a good run here today. Start before Indian Stallion at Lexington at the Red Mile on the 7th of October. Horse won by 1.5 lengths off the gate from the 7 hole. This horse didn't get the lead, but got it at the midpoint of the race and then kept going. Easy victory. And this horse, this horse is 10-8. She's lost twice basically in her career. Last time out and starting the Kentucky and Kentuckiana, what do they call that race? The Red Mile in Lexington. This horse finished 10th through disqualification for breaking. I think this horse should have a good run here today. Her best time, she likes a mile track, it looks like. Her best time was 151 and 4 at Lexington a few weeks ago. Her last race, I'm just going to give the excuse for it. It was the elimination. Yannick didn't really want to drive the horse for when they can drive the horse for 25,000 whatever they ran last week, 20,000 when he can win 600,000 next week. So I think this horse should have a good run here today. Single maybe in the pick five or pick four definitely. To recount my bets now for race number four for the Meadowlands Racetrack final, 2-year-old fillies start the guaranteed 50,000 pick four pool. Gonna go with the four horse Ariana G. Gonna go 4-1-3-10, 4-1-3-10. So now let's get on to race number five. Excuse me. Like I said, allergies. Today's fifth race from the Meadowlands is British Crown Final. 2-year-old fillies, field of 10 pacers traveling a mile here per $600,000. We have 10 horses on gate, and my top selection here, we'll go to the 9 horse, Idealic Beach. I'm going to go 9-8-5-2, 9-8-5-2. Number 9, Idealic Beach, top selection, 3-1. Yannick Jingra again. He better have a good afternoon or good night that day. If he does have a good night, he's going to probably take home. If he wins these two races, both $600,000 races, he'll have a nice. He'll be probably treating everybody in his family to a nice steak dinner with the earnings he'll be getting. But the Sally Out of Beach, another Jimmy Taggart horse. Last time out on 22nd of October at the Meadowlands of Breeze Crown eliminations from the 8 hole. This horse went straight to lead, but weakened in the end. Furlong. It just wasn't her day to win. She finished third by halfway, 1.5 lengths. Got bothered also. So maybe today with the final, she should have a little bit more. Hopefully, She had a very good week. Maybe she could come into this final a little better. Start before in the In Stallion, Red Mile, Lexington, the 8th of October, and Stallion. Horse won by 3/4 of the length off the gate. This horse didn't get the lead, got shortly after, and then kept going. Easy victory. And then the Bluegrass at Lexington. Horse finished second by length. Just weak in the final few strides. She's been a heavy favorite her last, her last 5 or 6 starts. She's been a very heavy favorite, and she should be. She's a very good horse. I think she should have a good run here today. She's lost every other race. So she lost last week. She won the one before. She lost the Bluegrass, won the Kentuckian, lost Pennsylvania Sire Stakes, but won the race before that. So maybe if the cycle keeps going, I think she should win by a lot tonight. This is one of those races. It's the end of pick 5, second leg of the pick 4. Like I said, you're gonna have to go deep in at least the first 2 legs of this pick 5. Maybe you could single this leg. The only thing, if she was breaking from the inside, it would be a definite single, I think. But since she's not breaking from the inside and breaking from the outside, I'm a little weary with that outside post position with this horse. That's why maybe I might use, at a bit of a price here, a horse to her inside from the 8 hole. She's not the inside. But number 8, Blame It on the Night. I think he should have a very good closing kick, or she should have a very good closing kick also. So maybe I'll use that horse also in the pick 5 or 4. We'll see what the ticket price. I still have a few days. It's early Friday morning right now. It's 2:15 Friday morning, so I still have about, I don't know, 46 hours to figure out what I want to do. But she looks very tough here. So to recount my bets for race number 5 from the Meadowlands Breeze Crown Final, 2-year-old filly's going to go with the 9 horse Adialic Beach. Going to do a super 9-8-5-2, 9-8-5-2. To the 6th race now from the Meadowlands, which is the Breeze Crown Final. 2-year-old Colton Gelding Spill Weaver Memorial Trophy here. 10 trotters traveling a mile per $600,000. Just for the shits and giggles. Their warm-up pad is tan. So when you're at the racetrack and you want to look at the horses warming up before, I guess, the 4th race that would go out for race 6 or race 3, whatever race to go out, you're looking for the tan saddle pad as my webcam glitches out. This race is a very good one also. It's the 3rd leg of the pick 4. And my top selection of this one will go to the horse that's going to be a very heavy favorite. And that's the 2 horse Walner. I think this horse might be going off at, this might be the shortest priced horse in the card. I tried picking against her. The 1 horse, give Gas and Go, whatever they want to call that horse. I think he could have a nice shot here, 5-1 also. But I kept going back to Walner. I have to go with Walner as my top pick here. I'm gonna go 2-1-7-5 here in the Super. 2-1-7-5. Maybe if I could see give Gas and Go if he has a good like a long shot at the post time. He's over 5 to 1. If he's like 8 to 1 or something like that, maybe I'll give a chance and put a few bucks to show on this horse or place. But Walner looks very tough to beat. He had a great elimination last week at the Meadowlands with Tim Tetrick. Tim Tetrick, regular riding this one again. But last week in the elimination, the horse won by 3 lengths. From the 5 hole, this horse didn't get the lead off the gate, but got it shortly after and had a very nice victory, just opening up, finishing the race at 153-3 for this trotter, which is pretty fast, I must say. Start before in the In Stallion at Lexington, the 6th of October. Horse won by 3 3/4 lengths. Off the gate, didn't get the lead again, but got it shortly after. Kept going. It was a nice victory. And then at the Meadowlands in the kindergarten final, back in 16th of September, horse won by 6.5 lengths, 153-4, a very fast time. This horse has run 6 times. He's only lost once. That was in the kindergarten here at the Meadowlands, where this horse broke her in the 9th of September. I think this horse should have a good run here today. He's becoming into this race good. It was a little quick his qualifier his elim last week, but I think he should do well. So to recap my bets for the Breeders' Crown, not the Breeders' Cup's next week, but the Breeders' Crown final from the Meadowlands for two Colts and Geldings. Going to go with the 2-horse Walner. Going to do a superfecta 2-1-7-5, 2-1-7-5. Now to race number 7 from the Meadowlands. The 7th race is Breeders' Crown Final, 2-year-old Colts and Geldings. Field of 10 pacers traveling a mile per $600,000. My top selection in the 7th race will go to the 3-horse Huntsville. Gonna go 3-2-5-8, 3-2-5-8. This might be a race I can maybe go if I keep the pick 4 ticket low, like if I single the first 2 legs or maybe even the third leg, if I single Walner. Maybe I'll just go out a little all out in this leg and use all 4 horses out of the superfecta in this leg, maybe to catch a price, because Huntsville's 2 to 1. He's coming this race very good also, but I think he might be a little bit. I have him as top selection, but maybe this race is a little bit more wide open than the other 3. So maybe you could find a price here, but I found my way to the 3-horse Huntsville at 2 to 1 with Tim Tetrick for Racenicker, who trains and also is a part owner of this horse. But last time out, the Meadowlands on the last Saturday night in the elim, this horse won by 2 1/4 lengths. From the 8 holes, horse didn't get the lead until the top of the actually the backstretch. Got it then, kept going. This horse was a little bit had to be whipped in the stretch, but it was a nice victory. He had to be used a little bit. I shall say that instead. But start before at Lexington, this horse ran the In Stallion on the 8th of October. Horse won by 3 1/4 lengths and 149, which is the horse's best mark. Again, this horse didn't get the lead off the gate, but got it shortly after. Didn't look back. Easy victory. And then Lexington in the Bluegrass, 1st of October. This horse won by 1 1/4 lengths. Easy victory again. This horse has a perfect post position to go straight to the lead and don't look back. This horse hasn't got the lead off the gate in quite a while, but I just think this horse might be, he's a good horse here. But with that being said, I think there are other horses in this race that can, this horse, like I said, this horse is very good, but there could maybe find a price in here. I don't think he's 100% lock-in horse. I think you could maybe find the 2-horse down by the CCI. He's 5'2". There's no value with that, but maybe he could he should have a good run also. The 5-horse Boogie Shuffle, I think he might run a very good race. He finished 3rd in last week's qualifier. He should really like the mile track. He should really close up. This is one of those horses you're gonna have to look on the way outside coming down the stretch at the in the final 16th of a mile, because I think he'll be going. And also the 8-horse Odds on Del Rey, he could maybe upset. So so those might be the 4 horses I'll use on the pick 4 ticket. So if you're playing the pick 4 ticket, if I single the first 2 legs and go in the 3rd leg, go maybe 2 deep, let's say, with the 2-horse and the 1-horse, that's $1. That would be about. I think the ticket would be about $8. So if you want to play it for 50 cents, $16. If you want to play it for $1, and if I single the 3rd leg, it's going to cost only $4. But I think this is a little bit of a tricky race, because I personally, I'm using Huntsville as a top selection, but I think it could be a little bit more wide open than expected. So to recap my bets for race number 7 from the Meadowlands, Breeders' Crown Final, 2-year-old Colts and Geldings. Going to go with the 3-horse Huntsville. Gonna go 3-2-5-8, 3-2-5-8. to race number 8 now from the Meadowlands as I take a quick break for a drink. Sponsored by nobody. Can't show labels on television, can't you? um, I love that when you watch TV and they always have to cover up the labels. It's so stupid. Um, but back to the regularly scheduled program. This eighth race now from the Meadowlands. Of course, it's British Crown Final. It's British Crown Final 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. Field of 10 trotters traveling a mile, purse $500,000. It's guaranteed pick four pool, $75,000 late pick four pool starts here today, not the normal seventh race. They moved the pick four a race later to co-mingle with the or to go with the British Crown races, which I personally love. If the British Crown was somewhere else, they would probably stick like a non, whereas 11,000 in between. Knowing horse racing today, I hate that, but this race is a very nice one. My top selection of this one, we'll go to the three horse bar hopping. I'm gonna go 3-2-5-9 here. 3-2-5-9 in this one. I'm trying to beat Marion Marauder, who's at 5-2. Looks very good also, but I think there might be a little bit more value with bar hopping at 3-1. Just a tiny bit more, shall I say? But number three, bar hopping. I have Tim Teacher in the last three legs. Like I said before about Yannick Gingras, Tim Teacher is going to make a lot of money if he wins these last three races. But this horse, 3-1, Jimmy Tack trains one. Last time out on the limb for this race last week, horse won by 3.5 lengths, 30 cents to a dollar. It just had a nice closing up move at the far turn. Kept going. It was a nice qualifier, finishing qualifier 152 and 4, which I believe actually was a pretty fast time than he was running his last few. But start for 4 in the Kentucky Futurity at the Lexington Red Mile. Horse finished third by half length behind Southwind Frank and Marion Marauder. Marion Marauder being the Triple Crown winner, the first one in about 10 years, I believe. But, it was a decent third place finish. Was screwed by the post position 12 at the beginning, but this horse overcame a lot to finish third that day. Was the favorite going into the final also. And then the Bluegrass at Lexington. This horse won by a head, closed up incredibly well, 20 cents a dollar, no value. But, this horse had a very nice September, winning the Canadian Trotting Derby by 3.5 lengths. Didn't go to lead, stayed a little bit farther back, but really closed up well. This horse likes the Meadowlands. His best time here at the Meadowlands came in 151 and 4 earlier this year, which was actually his best time ever. Basically, that was his career best. So I think this horse should have a good run here today. I'm going to use this one, so to recap my bets for race number 8 for the Meadowlands British Crown Final 3 Colts and Geldings. Going to go 3 horse bar hopping. Gonna do a superfecta here. Gonna go 3-2-5-9. 3-2-5-9. To race number 9 now from the Meadowlands, which is a British Crown Final 3-year-old fillies. Field of 10 trotters traveling a mile, purse $500,000. My top selection of this one, we'll go to the 5 horse Broadway Donna. Gonna go 5-1-2-8. 5-1-2-8. Number 5, Broadway Donna, 7-2. Dave Miller in the sulky for Jim Campbell, who trains this one. Last time out, the Meadowlands in the elimination for this race last week. From the 10 hole, this horse won by half length. Had a lot to do from that 10 hole. Didn't get, was a little bit farther back from this horse's usual front running style. And, it was a very nice win that day, I have to say. I think today's start might be less challenging than his one last week. Hopefully, Dave didn't use this horse a lot last week. If he didn't use this horse a lot, if this horse is fresh, I think this horse might be one of the best. Might give one of the best showings out of all the out of all the horses on today's card. With that being said, like I said, he should do well. I'm sorry, I'm terrified making these videos. If I seem like I am not making sense sometimes. But, start before on the October 9th at Lexington in the Kentucky Futurity. The source won by 2.75 lengths from the inside straight to lead. Did not look back. Easy victory. Did the same thing in the limb earlier that afternoon. Another, this horse has been winning very easily, except in the Bluegrass, 2nd of October. This horse did not do well. Broke that day and lost by 26 lengths. I think this horse should have a good run here today. Best time came on a mile track in 151 and 1, best time ever. And also, as last year her best mark came over here at the Meadowlands, 153 and 3. Do I think they're going to run sub 151? Or something like that. I don't think so. I think I don't think the track's going to be playing that fast unless it really rains, but it's going to be a nice night on Saturday night. It's going to be about 60 degrees. It's going to be a lot warmer than it was last week. But going to go with this one. So to recap my bets for race number 9 from the Meadowlands, it's the British Crown Final, 3-year-old fillies. Going to go with the 5-horse Broadway Donna. Going to go 5-1-2-8. 5-1-2-8. Cheers. Um, Today's 10th race now from the Meadowlands British Crown Final, 3-year-old fillies, a field of 10 pacers traveling a mile, purse $500,000. And my top selection of this one will go to the 9-horse Call Me Queen Bee. Gonna go 9-6-3-2 here. 9-6-3-2 here in the 10th. Number 9, Call Me Queen Bee. It's 5-1. Scott Zeron in the sulky on this one. Last time out at the Meadowlands, last week in the British Crown Limb. This horse finished third by 3/4 length that day. Stalked the pace that day, basically second. You know, really, it's one of those things. Scott Zeron could have probably won this race last week, but didn't really want to overuse the horse. He finished third, letting Pure Country win. Pure Country looks very tough in the spot, I must say also. But I want to take a price here in this one at 5-1 with Call Me Queen Bee. I think he has a lot. He had a lot left last week, and he wasn't showing his 100% game. This week he should be 100% and should really do well. The only bad thing is the post position, but I think this horse should overcome it. Start before this horse ran Lexington Red Mile on 9th of October in the 100,000 stakes race. Horse finished second by length. Off the gate, this horse went straight to the lead, but then lost it by a Pure Country overtook him in the stretch run. It was a disappointing second place run, and then this horse finished fourth in the Bluegrass at Lexington behind a very tough field, who I believe won that day was Blue Moon Stride, who's running back here today. Finished second in the limb last week. But it was a disappointing second place finish. I think he could have got, or fourth place finish. I think he could have won a little bit better. This horse did win a jugette. What do you call it? A jugette elimination Delaware back in September. Finished second in the final behind LA's Delight, who's running in this race, breaking from his inside. But I think this horse at 5-1, you cannot take this horse. If you're playing a multi-race wager, I think the pick 4 is a part of this race. If you're playing it, this is not a race. This is the kind of horse you do not want to keep off your ticket, because I think this is a wise guy horse. Going to use it as top selection. But to recap my bets now for race number 10 from the Meadowlands British Crown Final, 3-year-old fillies, the Max C. Hempt Memorial Trophy. I'm going to go with the 9-horse Call Me Queen Bee. I'm going to go 9-6-3-2, 9-6-3-2. To the 11th race now from the Meadowlands, which is a British Crown Final, 3-year-old Colts and Geldings, field of 10 pacers, traveling a mile, purse $500,000. My top selection in this one will go to the inside, to the 1-horse Western Fame. Number 1 Western Fame, gonna go 1-5-3-2. 1-5-3-2, number 1 Western Fame, Mark McDonald. Jimmy Tactor trains this one last time out on the limb last week at the Meadowlands. Horse won by nose that day from the rail, went straight to the lead, had easy victory. Winning by nose, but I kind of got the showing that they really didn't push this horse. They're waiting for today, which is ideal, of course. Start before this horse ran in the Tattersalls at Lexington. Horse finished second by a neck that day. Off the gate, this horse from the outside post position tried getting the lead, got third, got the lead after that, but really couldn't show anything. This horse started weakening after that outside post position and trying going for the lead. This horse today from the rail looks very tough. I believe this race isn't a part of the pick. If this race is part of pick 4, which I doubt, I would single. But if you're playing a pick 3, single this one, because I think this horse should do well. This horse did run in the jug. This horse finished second in the jug final, trying to, second behind betting line, in the a limb for the jug. This horse set some very wicked paces, finishing winning by 150 and 1. Unbelievable all throughout, but I think they used the horse too much that day. The horse had nothing left for the final. But I think this horse should do well here today. They're not running 2 times in a day for this final for the British Crown. But to recount my bets for race number 11 from the Meadowlands British Crown Final, gonna go with the 1 horse. Gonna go 1-5-3-2, 1-5-3-2. To race number 12 now from the Meadowlands. That was the final British Crown race number 11. But race number 12, back to non-winners race. It's a 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. Non-winners of 50,000, 2016. Field of 8 pacers traveling a mile. Purse $12,000 here. And my top selection here will go to the 4-horse Sam McSmith. Gonna go 4-3-8-2. 4-3-8-2, number 4, Sam McSmith. 6-1, Scott 0 on the sulky. Last time out, the Poconos on the 2nd of October, and the non-wars a 7 pair mutual. This horse finished 8th by 6 1/4 lengths. Really weakened up that day from a 5-hole position. Wasn't near anything. It was a disappointing run. They took this horse now to the sideline for about 4 weeks now, which I think is really good. I think he needed a break after that. Start before on the 18th of September at Philadelphia, Chester, and Liberty Bell. From the rail, the horse won by 3/4 length. He doesn't have a lot of gate speed, so got, sat back third, and then really closed up, got the lead, and, it was a nice victory for this horse that day. And then at Chester, non-wars 5 pair mutual, this horse finished 4th by 1 3/4 lengths. Closed up a tiny bit, but had a very horrible trip. He's used to running on the 5/8 mile track. He's going to the big track today, which I don't think is half bad. I think he should really suit this one. So to recap my bets, race number 12 from the Meadowlands, gonna go with the 4 horse Sam McSmith. Gonna go 4-3-8-2. 4-3-8-2. Now to race number 13 from the Meadowlands. Final race on today's program, and I said at the beginning, I hope this video doesn't go over 20 minutes. We're at about 30 minutes and 23 seconds right now, so uh, but we only have this one race left. Race number 13 is Kindergarten Classic, 2-year-old filly's 5th leg. Field of 10 pacers traveling a mile here. Purse $10,000. Jackpot high 5 this race. Super try exact, all that crap. One play show. This looks like a very nice wide open. It's definitely a wide open race. Just so you're going to see a race where you're going to have like a $30 winner. Maybe that $30 winner, or maybe this $20 winner here could go to the 8 horse Sky Fuller Star at 8-1 with Mark McDonald as the top selection. I'm gonna go 8-6-9-3. 8-6-9-3. Number 8 Sky Fuller Star. Mark McDonald 8-1. Last time out, right at the Meadowlands on the 21st of October in a kindergarten final. The horse finished third by 2 3/4 lengths. From the 6 hole, sat back, really, couldn't get a great closing kick that day. It's disappointing, but, I think he should improve off of that today. Start before at the 8th of October at Lexington, the In-Stallion. This horse finished 5th by 11 lengths. Closed, he didn't close up that day at all. He didn't do anything, basically. This horse is kind of a closer. And then the Bluegrass at Lexington started 4th. This horse finished 3rd by 2 lengths. He had the stalking kind of position, but didn't have enough to really get the good closing kick. I think this horse should have a good run here today. He should do well here at the Meadowlands. Finished second in his last race here at the Meadowlands, 17th of October in the kindergarten 2-year-old series race. So going to go with this horse here as the top selection. So now to finally recap my bets for race number 13 for the Meadowlands Kindergarten Classic 2-year-old filly's 5th leg. Going to go to the 8th horse, number 8 Sky Fuller Star. Gonna go 8-6-9-3. And I'm surprised I did not lose my voice during this because I feel like I'm about to. But good luck to all. Follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections. And if it's and remember to look at my Friday video for the Meadowlands and the British Crown races that day. So good luck to all.